Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Spyro the Dragon Part 9. So now we're going to the next boss of this game, which is the boss for the Magic Crafter's world. Well, he's just down this slope or somewhere around here. I don't know exactly where he is. I don't really have any of these maps in the game memorized, mostly because there aren't really any maps in this game, because this game doesn't really, because this is why you get lost a lot in this game. That's part of this game, it's a lot of its challenge charm is simply getting lost, just like Wolfenstein 3D and Doom. I spend the majority of my time playing those games just roaming around and have no idea where to go. That's kind of what killed Wolfenstein 3D for me. That's why I don't really like that game that much anymore, simply because it's impossible to navigate around everywhere and there's no map in the game. And it just becomes a simply, walking around. So you don't think, oh, isn't that supposed to be an action game where you battle Nazis or things like that? Well, no, it's just a game where you spend the majority of your time walking around in circles, not knowing where to go, and that's not really my definition of an entertaining game. That's also why I don't like a lot of RPG games a lot too. I find a lot of RPG games are like that too, which is another reason why I despise that genre. That includes games like Earthbound and Final Fantasy. I think those games suck, and that's because I don't really like that genre that much. It's also the reason why I don't really like the Mega Man Battle Network series that much either. I think that series isn't really that good for that reason. It's just not what Mega Man's supposed to be. It doesn't even have anything to do really with classic Mega Man. It's kind of an unfair comparison there. Kind of like how some of the later Spyro games don't really have much to do with actual Spyro the Dragon. He's just in there as a gimmick from what I was told or from what I've heard that Spyro, sometimes like when a company slaps some character on the front cover, people think, oh, this character is going to be in this a lot, and this is going to, build interest. They're really in it for like a short amount of time. Kind of like how on the Return of the Jedi movie poster on the front cover for that movie, it clearly shows Yoda on the front cover of it, despite the fact that Yoda's only in that movie for one scene for a few minutes, and he's barely in that movie at all. Although we're going against the next boss, Blowhard. His name definitely doesn't suggest anything. Blowhard, that's the boss we're going after. Some sort of anthropomorphic tornado thing. I'm sure the National Weather Service would love to report on him. He's some tornado thing that just throws tornadoes. And he's also a wuss, just like most of the other bosses. Pretty much every boss in this game is a wuss. Because Spyro is just that overpowered. Sometimes I think Spyro is one of the most overpowered characters in gaming history. He's probably the opposite of Alex Kidd in terms of how powerful game characters can be. Alex Kidd is pathetically weak, so is Bubsy Bobcat. Bubsy Bobcat is also pathetically weak, and this game came out 2 years or so after Bubsy Bobcat's last game, which was Bubsy 3D. A lot of people seem to despise that game. I don't think that game is that bad. So at least it's not one of the worst games ever. But some people were asking me, like, why do you think Bubsy 3D is not a bad game? And I'm like, well, for one, the game is always fun. There's always something to do in the game, and the game is straightforward. And the best of all, the game controls are obedient. The game obeys. You press up, he goes up, press down, he goes down. Spyro, a lot of good games have that same kind of quality. Spyro definitely has that too. This Spyro game has very good controls. The controls of this game definitely are well polished off. And the best part is, Spyro is obedient. You press up, he goes up, you press down, he goes down, left, right, all those controls. His powers pretty much always work. And it's never like some other games where you feel you have to constantly press buttons over and over again for them to activate or for them to actually do something. I find Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron is like that. I find a lot of time that game I have to mash the same buttons over and over again just to get them to do their desired effect. And don't get me wrong, Battlefront Renegade Squadron's a good Battlefront game. Sure, it's not the greatest Star Wars Battlefront game ever, but it's a lot better than Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PSP, and it's definitely not a scam like Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PSP, but that game was a big scam. I also think Spyro 4 may have been a scam too, because the game was advertised as having so much, and yet the final product had pretty much none of that. This is the boss now. This is Blowhard. Well, we already met him before, but we're reunited with him again. He kind of flew away, and we kind of lost him, and so now we're being reunited with Blowhard. Yeah, an awesome family reunion. I wonder if Spyro ever met any of these bosses again, because it was later established in some of the later games that bad guys, or the villains that have died in the Spyro series, they can come back and later haunt Spyro in future games. It's been established from later Spyro games that can happen. So I wonder if any of these bosses from Spyro 1 would ever come back and, take over Spyro or want to haunt his dreams or something. They may have their ghosts haunt them or something like that. I don't think we ever seen any of these boss games, but I don't know. There were a lot of Spyro games in the Game Boy Advance. There were a lot of other odd ones too that came out in the years later. I heard none of them were that good, so I never really followed up with any of them or played any of them. and I was never interested in any of them, so I have no idea if they were actually what they said for return. I was told that that one Spyro villain from one of the sequels returned a lot in some of the games. And Blowhard can clearly fly because a tornado-like entity can fly. Roller why doesn't just fly above Spyro and stay above Spyro and constantly spam tornadoes at Spyro, and Spyro would be dead. It'd be impossible for him to get killed, and he would definitely become Nasty and Orc's favorite. But no, he's stupid, just like any other boss in this game. And you also noticed too, we actually came across the exit to the level before I actually defeated the boss. You saw a little earlier that we did that. This might be one of the only levels in the game where we could actually exit a level, like actually get to the return home part of a level without having to actually kill the boss. Of course, killing the boss does give you all the gems and treasures and everything that you need to get through this to get the game 100% complete. So it wouldn't really be good for a 100% run, which is what this is supposed to be, a 100% run, getting absolutely everything in this game, really scraping the bottom of the barrel and getting absolutely everything this game has to offer. A lot of people say this game is quite a dreamy game. I guess I see why people think that. Still does so many bizarre magic stuff. Almost like someone had some sort of trippy dream or something, and then wrote it all down in a diary and then used it to make this game or something. There actually is a game on the PS1. It's not really a game. It's more just like a interactive experience. It actually is like that. It's so bizarre. It's such a bizarre game. I should provide coverage of that at some point in the future, maybe. And that would be the second time I played a PS1 game that wasn't really a game at all on this YouTube channel. Everything I'm referring to is a PlayStation developer's demo disc. I wouldn't call that a game. Even Wikipedia, I know Wikipedia is not an accurate source of information, but even Wikipedia doesn't even consider the PlayStation developer's demo disc to be an actual game. Because it's really just more a tech demo of whatever the PS1 is capable of doing. This is another level I absolutely despise. This might be like one of my most hated levels in the entire game. It's not necessarily a bad level, but they're really good at hiding the gems. It's one of those levels that remained uncleared for quite several years. I don't even think I got this 100% complete until I think 2017 or so. So when I finally got this 100% complete. I probably had this game 99% complete or 98% complete for the longest time. I never really never got this game everything. It was until 2017, I think, when I did that run that proved it was possible to get through this whole game without having to do any backtracking. Is when I realized that, I could get this game 100% complete. I used to think it was downright impossible a lot of the time, too, to get certain games. It was very rare for me when I was a kid to 100% complete a game. I used to think it was impossible, so I just wrote it off as, that's probably not happening. You have a better chance of marrying Beyonce than getting a game like this 100% complete. Don't even try. But clearly, that's not the case anymore. I pretty much got all these Spyro games 100% complete. I never got Spyro 4 100% complete. That's because Spyro 4 is broken in so many ways. I don't even bother trying to get that one 100% complete. That's why I never really did a Let's Play of Spyro 4. I did make a gameplay video about that game nearly 4.5, 5 years ago, but I'm probably never going to do a Let's Play of Spyro 4. That probably means I will do one in the future, because I just said I never will do one at all, so I probably will be doing a Let's Play of that game eventually. It'll probably be the GameCube version, because the GameCube version is supposedly better than the PS2 version. I only ever played the GameCube version on an emulator. I only did that because some guy told me it was better. And it was the same guy who told me to do a Let's Play of the European version of Ape Escape 2, since it has a better dub than the American version. So the script is mostly the same, and they actually do add extra words into the European version of Ape Escape 2 that are not in the American version. There's a thief hiding behind that wall. You could hear him go, he sounds like a kid I knew in middle school. How'd you know a kid in middle school? It sounds like the thieves from this game. He would jump around, say, I got him, something, I got it. He would say something like, I got it, something, he would say something. And then he would take a banana and he'd wrap it in tin foil and he would unzip his pants and put it in there. And it looks like his thing is hanging out. Sometimes he would chase me around with it and he would touch me with the banana that was in his pants. Sounds like something out of frickin' Diary of a Wimpy Kid or something like that. The most unrealistic thing about Diary of a Wimpy Kid is that it's all family friendly. In real life, middle school is not family friendly. There's one thing in the world that's not family friendly. It's middle school. If it really was more realistic, it would have more like the kinds of things middle school age kids do, and the movie probably wouldn't be rated PG. It would probably be rated PG-13 at least. Probably R, well, more likely R, because a lot of my experiences there would actually be more likely to be rated R in time when kids just like playing stuff like Call of Duty and stuff like that and make fun of me for not liking Call of Duty. Those are most of my middle school experiences with where I play classic games all the time. And people would think I'm odd. I wonder if that's why I got treated differently a lot in middle school. Well, they thought I was inferior. They labeled me as inferior. They were deprived me of any educational opportunities I could possibly get. It was all because some political party would give tons and tons of money to the school just so they could pick on kids. Oh look, I got all the eggs in the game. Yep, all the eggs have been collected. Yeah, it's like they pay money to the middle schools to make them, give kids, to make them, to deprive kids of proper education. Thankfully, this political party is mostly defunct now. I think that's the premise for a book I'm eventually going to write.
It is at the waterfall.
I'm already planning out the sequels to my novel, The Man-Child, to eventually come out, and one of the ones that I plan on writing eventually is called Autistic Genocide. It's a book that I plan on writing eventually. It's going to deal with Chris Chan and what the school boards and things like that have done about Chris Chan, all because of Chris Chan. I've hinted at that idea in the first Man-Child novel, and the second Man-Child novel too. I've hinted at the idea that the Chris Chan has a lot more influence in the government than he realizes. Chris Chan kind of does rule the world in a lot of ways. I guess that's where he got his whole God complex, or his, the whole thing, he's Christ complex. That's probably where he got that from. Maybe he's the right one after all. Some people think that. A former friend of mine thinks that he's actually the correct one, that we're all the villains pretty much in his story. He's just been brainwashed for watching too many of his videos. He clearly doesn't watch my videos. If you watch my videos, you wouldn't be brainwashed at all. But he never watched any of my videos. That's part of why we're not friends anymore, because he never cares about me or listens to me or thinks about anything anymore. That I like, he's kind of just a drone to his own work, like a slave to his own, what he thinks is entertaining. Which is really stupid stuff on YouTube pertaining to games like Minecraft or Team Fortress 2, which I think Team Fortress 2 is also a stupid game. It's also one of my most hated games. It's up there for Earthbound, and forever being one of my most hated games ever. Oh god, I hate Team Fortress 2 so much. Whatever happened to Spyro the Dragon? Spyro the Dragon is way better than Team Fortress 2. It's insulting to compare it to. Heck, it's a big insult. It's almost a crime against what this YouTube channel stands for, just to have me mention that game in a video about a game that's awesome, like Spyro the Dragon. Oh boy. But then again, I'm the only person that makes these rules, so if I break them, the people responsible for punishing someone would only be me, so I'd be punishing myself then. But I don't, and I could always bend my rules to my own will, so I guess I'm allowed to break them. I mean, if you're the one that always makes the rules, then that would make you also allowed to be the one that breaks them. So we're pretty much like scaling these edges, pretty much trying to get all these remaining treasure gems and stuff like that. And we could go in this whirlwind. Whirlwinds are also quite common in the Spyro series as well too. So I remember comparing this game to Crystal Castle. Of course, this game is quite similar to Crystal Castle. So you have to collect everything in the game and run through the levels pretty much and dodge enemies. Spyro is, of course, more advanced. If you break down those Abstraxian fervor, Spyro is vaguely similar to Pac-Man. Instead of dots, it's gems. Instead of mazes, well, these kind of are like mazes. These are like actual mazes where you don't know where anything is. You have to guide yourself around them. There's enemies as well, too, that have to be killed. There actually are a few vague similarities between this and Pac-Man. I mean, arcade games is where the idea of these concepts of a lot of these games come from. There was a teacher talking about how Atari was going bankrupt, and then he said that, oh, Atari gave us Pong, and if Pong never existed, we wouldn't have Call of Duty. Like, yeah, like that's any good. Yeah, because I could live without Call of Duty, that's for sure, because I never even play those games, so what would it matter to me then? This is the part where I get stuck for like 20 plus minutes on end. So it's gonna take like 20 plus minutes of me just wandering around like a madman, wondering where everything is. And then eventually, after so much time, I'll be like, oh yeah, I think I know what you do. You go to this ledge right here, and then you jump around and you tilt the camera around too. Oh yeah, I can see if you can't really see it from here, but if you tilt the camera at a certain specific angle, you can see where there's a thing you could jump and glide around to get up there. These buildings, this is clearly the same building as that upper ledge right there too. They're clearly the same buildings. In Clear Fear, you can just jump and glide left or something like that, or jump off anything and glide left, and then you'll be at that point right there. Or maybe it's not that one. I don't know. There's so many ledges in this game. I don't remember which ledge is which. It's impossible to remember all of them. This game knows all of them way too well. There's just so much in this game. I never realized how big this game was. And yet, this is the shortest. I'm pretty sure it's the shortest game in the Spyro trilogy as well too. So that's saying a lot. Oh yes, this is where it is. Now see, that's, I used to think that was the ledge we were on earlier, but it's actually not. There's a wizard there. Well, this is Wizard Peaks, I think is what this level is called. It makes sense there'd be a wizard in Wizard Peaks, right? There, collect all 500 gems, 500, yep. We have the whole game 55% complete. We're officially past the halfway point of this game. That means there's only 45% left of this game left to complete. So now I just have to find the eggs. I remember where the eggs was. We found it quite a while ago, so long ago I don't even remember where it was exactly. Then we have to go on one of these things, one of these ramp things, so we could go really fast. Like, no, it's not over there. I don't think the exit to the game is over there. It's probably over around here somewhere. Yeah, I like to try to remember where all the exits are. The backgrounds of this game are also quite underrated. They look like pixelated clouds, like sharp-edged clouds of planets and things like that in the background. They actually are well done. Kudos to the person that designed those backgrounds. Those actually do look really nice. They actually do add, people don't really think of it much, but backgrounds really do add a lot to the game. It wasn't like they just used a blue screen as fun. Screw it, let's just leave it as the blue screen effect. This is Ray Phoenix signing out.